Hello Bellydance princesses and princes. I'm Magnolia and I am here with Dana, aka Weirdo Chick. She has a YouTube channel that I will link down below in the description box. But today we're going to be talking about what it's like to be a plus-sized belly dancer. So this is a topic that isn't really spoken about publicly, but we feel like it's about time to address that issue. So we're going to discuss some of the things that Dana has experienced, some of her insights, and kind of get all into this scary stuff.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your experience with belly dance and how you got into fusion and just a little bit about your journey.
Yeah, I've been dancing in the belly dance community since I was about 4 years old, professionally since I was 13.
Awesome.
I started teaching when I was about 16. Second generation, so my mom had a studio. When I started fusing, which was with the cabaret, I was fusing like theater, so like acting and like super dramatic stuff, and then that led into more of like the kind of gothic feel, so that fusion of belly dance and theater went into kind of a gothic direction. And then like flamenco and salsa and like all the Latin Spanish type movements because like the hip movements could kind of lead to it, and then the folk foot movements kind of lead to it, so like it was a natural progression, plus like the music, hello. I like to be different. I like to try and do the opposite of like what everybody else is
Someone's gotta start doing it.
There are a couple of videos that I almost didn't post because I felt like I looked insanely overweight.
Oh wow. Yep.
Yeah.
Now we're getting into it.
Yeah. So like the struggle's always been real. I didn't used to show my stomach, actually. So my mom is a plus-size dancer as well. Most of the dancers that came into our studio were older, more my mother's age, larger, smaller, but like we had a huge variety, which was really nice, and not until way later I realized rare for a dance studio.
Right.
Because of society and outside influences, there was still body shaming, and there was still the issue of like not getting gigs because of how we looked, not being able to perform in a certain show type, people who are putting, like, I understand it to an extent, but it's still not fair, because once I get to a level where I'm performing on a professional level, and I am performing as well, there is a definite point where you can say, like, I have the experience, I am on a professional track, I can definitely give you what you're looking for, but you're gonna pick someone else just based on, you know, the cover of the book, and it hurts. Like, it's not easy. I feel like my struggle to where I am now is harder than a lot of other professional belly dancers, because I have a certain struggle that not everyone has to deal with. Some of that is self-imposed. Not all of it, but some of it is. For a long time, I didn't show my stomach. No one in our studio showed their stomach. We would just make everyone cover up, and it would just be even that way around, which worked for the folk dances because it's more modest, but like once we started getting into the more modern variations, it was strange, but like nobody's gonna say anything, that's polite.
Right.
And then the longer that progressed, the more negative it became, like in on ourselves, because there was this.
I feel like you were covering up a part of yourself, like.
Right.
Are you shaming? You feel
Right,
like
you're shaming it. You're not accepting everything about you, and we're preaching this: love yourself, love your body. This dance is made for your body. We're all accepting of everything about you, and at the same time, we're covering ourselves up, and we're forcing everyone else to cover themselves up. And so. And I would do it like subconsciously to other women. Like I would be watching them perform and be like, oh man, you know, she's too big to be dressing like that. Like, and that was my own insecurities mirroring on someone else who, for like amazing reasons, so I don't even know, were willing to put themselves out in a public forum. Like, it's very vulnerable, that feeling. So, like, absolutely. Now I'm like, yes, thank you so much for doing that, because that's hard. It's scary. Yeah. You know?
And this is not to say that we're telling you one way or the other that you should or should not cover up. That's obviously up to you. But we're talking about...
You should dress to your comfort.
Yes.
Yeah. But it should be truly your comfort and not something that someone else has told you should be your comfort level.
That's the difference right there.
And just be honest with yourself. And it took me a really long time to break through those expectations that society has put on you, that you put on yourself, that other women put on each other. My cholesterol is perfectly level. I'm completely healthy.
So you're active, obviously.
Yeah, I'm very active. I work out all the time. I eat well most of the time.
But you can't just look at someone and assume anything about their health.
Yeah,
I know lots of girls that are very thin and anemic, you know, and struggling
and
with
everyone's
issues.
Struggling. Like, be nice to each other. We all have body issues.
Yeah, we do.
We do. Like,
everybody.
I still think about this. And like, I still think about all kinds of things, and I hate my feet. That's my thing.
Your feet?
Yeah, man.
You have a little toe ring on. I have yellow toenail polish on. It looks like a fungus.
The nails is cute.
The nail, I mean, I had to match.
Oh, okay. I see.
I had to coordinate, but yeah, it doesn't look good on the feet.
Everybody has a thing, right?
Yes.
And you wouldn't expect it, like, unless you ask. And sometimes I've started to just ask people, because you just never know. Say that I have avoided water parks, and like, I've avoided going to a place that I love going because of that mentality. Yeah. The struggle is real. Like, I have done that for years where I just haven't. You know, I just wouldn't go. I would talk myself out of it. I would make plans and then just not, or say like I wasn't feeling well or whatever, something, to just not go. There's a lot to do with how we're raised in society and the outside world. It's not just Bellydance. It's everything. It's everyone. It's every man, every woman, every human that I know. And I feel like if we can be a little nicer to ourselves and to each other, and we can show the next generation something that we weren't able to experience. One thing with plus size dancing that I would really like to address is troupe performances. So the thing that is starting to bother me more now than anything, larger, taller people would usually get kicked to the back.
Yep.
And I see that in a lot of videos.
I do too. Yeah.
I feel like sometimes the plus size dancer, if the instructor isn't, it's really hard for the instructor to see the movement sometimes, right? It's hard to adjust and kind of create the same instructional quality, and then sometimes they're just ignored. There's a lot of different things that plus size dancers have to deal with. And I'm not saying everyone doesn't have to deal with them, but I feel like they get amplified in certain sections.
Right.
They get blown up because there's just this stigma that you have to fight through first.
You think that the act that someone that's in charge or their mentor is pushing them to the back to be hidden makes them feel that way?
Like, I don't know what to do with you, I'll get back to it, you can just kind of go over there. Or maybe they're in the teacher's mind, like, oh, well, you don't look like everyone else, I can't figure out how to instruct you to look like everyone else, so I'm just going to put you in the back so that you're only seen part of the time, but you're still able to perform, so it's fine.
Yeah, that seems like a very negative performing experience.
It is, and like, they don't say anything about it because they don't know any better, because that's how everybody does it. I'm talking with a bunch of different people. My focus will be on plus size body types. I'm talking to some people about transgender. I'm talking about like how to instruct to someone who is neurologically atypical. So just like everyone should have the ability to feel comfortable learning how to dance.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like, you let me know if this is true or not, but I think that women who are plus size or don't have what they think is the ideal form even stop themselves from starting belly dance or any dance in the first place. I think that they're not allowed to do it.
Right.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, so it's that same mentality of like wanting to hide and wanting to cover up, and like we're not part of society, and like only the pretty things can be pushed up to the front and can be shown and showcased. And in our minds, the pretty, you know, in that the Western mind, beautiful is tall, thin, really pale skin, long, luscious hair. I mean, that every ad, every photo, and like, and then it's photoshopped all to get gone. And so, like, they don't even look like human anymore. Like, so yeah, and everybody has to deal with being bombarded with those images all the time. I've been plus size my entire life, so I feel like almost every public setting I am vulnerable because.
You feel like everyone is judging you on your appearance, like everywhere you go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure
I'm sure you feel
that way too.
We all feel that too.
Yeah.
But I get a lot of questions or comments from people that aren't belly dancers when they find out that I am a belly dancer about, well, don't you have to be? They're like, oh, that's why you're so skinny. Like, you have to look like that to do belly dance. Like, what happens with women that are larger than want to belly dance? Do they get to? Are they allowed to? What is it
People
like?
ask you that?
Versions of that I get all the time. I think they
Wow.
think because my body's not plus size that I would be like, oh yeah, this is like, you have to look like me, which is not, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no one's ever asked me anything like that.
I make sure to tell them, you know, in some countries, my body would not be attractive.
That's true.
Some countries want you to have more voluptuous body, you know, because your movements, they're bigger. They're honestly, sometimes I'm jealous because like on stage though, some of your movements, your shimmies are huge, and I'm like, why does my shimmy look like this itty bitty?
That's true. I don't have to work as hard for the shimmy, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And I do want to put this on video, like I really do appreciate you saying something about that.
Well, I mean,
It's
I want to
important.
talk about all this stuff.
Yeah.
It is important. I mean,
Yeah.
the average woman's size is what, a size 16? It might be wrong, but
Yeah.
the average size woman is not a size 0 or a size 2.
Right.
It's larger, and so this relates to a lot of people.
Yeah. So the other thing I wanted to talk about that kind of relates to this is the skinny bitch syndrome, where a lot of
Yes.
plus size people swing far to the other side, right, where they end up shaming people who are smaller than them. So we were all children at one point, and there's part of that that's still alive, and it's also the part of ourselves that fears things and warns us when there's confrontation or something that kind of confronts that that innocence or that vulnerability. So, you know, well, she probably thinks I'm fat. She's just like another skinny bitch.
Yeah.
And like she doesn't understand and she doesn't like care. And so real women are curvy.
Yes.
Like,
real women also can have A cups, you know?
Yeah.
Real women can have a flat ass.
Right?
Like,
exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, that's, I mean, I definitely felt
And
that sometimes.
I've been through that and I've done it. I've been there. And it's a lot of jealousy too, right? Because, I mean, we don't know your experience, and because we're not talking to each other,
yes.
you know, people can forget that the other person has issues and is hurting in their own way. And so I just want to like make sure that while we are working on ourselves, that we're not projecting.
Yes.
Like we're not projecting that onto other people. Like everyone has their own thing. Be nice to yourself. Be nice to other people.
I also wanted to point out that we all get attacked for our appearances as belly dancers, no matter what our size is. I have been told that my eyebrows are bad, that my forehead is bad, that my skin is too pale, that my boobs are not big enough. Like, that my boobs are too big. Like,
yeah, every little thing.
we get attacked by people for our appearance all the time, and that's a struggle that we have as women, and specifically also as performers.
I actually saw an instance of this earlier in the bathroom. Someone was trying on a costume, and she was trying to minimize the look of her hips and like try and make a certain shape. And she was really struggling with the decision between like 2 different costumes, and she was like, you know, does this one make it look smaller? Does this one make it look smaller? Mm-hmm. And the other lady, and this was like, it was so amazing, came around the corner and was like, do you see that on me? Like, do you see the saddlebags on me? And the lady was like, no, of course not. Like, you look beautiful. And then she just like looked at the other woman and was like, I don't see them on you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was awesome. So
beautiful. If we could just do that to each other, I think that's a really wonderful response, because we get that a lot when we're backstage or in dressing rooms or in bathrooms. I think that's a really wonderful way to address that. So I'm going to try to do that.
For sure. Yeah, me too. Yeah, I think we look at ourselves so critically, and to be honest, most of the time, others aren't. Be nice to yourself. It's hard, and we're not taught to do that. But be nice to yourself, and it'll make it easier to be nice to other people.
I want to thank you very much for coming on and doing this interview, talking about plus-size belly dancing and image issues in the community. And be sure to check out her channel. I'm going to leave a link in the description box so you can go check out Weirdo Chick.
Yeah.
She's going to be doing other awesome interviews, so be sure to go subscribe and give her some love. And if you have any comments or questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments down below. And make sure to like this video, because we love Dana.
I love you guys.
And thanks for watching. Bye. I have brown curly hair and you have hot pink braids. Like, can you tell?
Can you tell what's happening right now?
Who is Cabaret?
But if I think the kids' room is next door.
Yeah. We're next to a kid's room or we're next to a Zill workshop.
I know. We're acing this. Nailed it.